Awesome. Thank you so much, Vincent. See you later, man.
Thank you so much, Bob.
Dean, how are you?
Bob, good to see you, sir. Always a pleasure.
You are.
I'm really glad you went to the bathroom. I was getting a little nervous there.
It is
underneath your desk there.
Yeah, it's been. I joke around with my friends. I've always wanted, and it's never going to happen because my wife would never let me do this. I've always wanted to put a urinal in my office. Now would have been a very useful time for that to have been something. I think I saw it in the movie once in the 80s. It just seemed like a really cool thing to have. Have you ever had a urinal in your office installed?
No, I can't say I have. No, we haven't done that.
Next time you refit your office. Good Dean, point. How are you?
Good, buddy, good. A little challenging time for all of us, but yeah. Definitely.
You are home, which is cool. Where is home for you? Wait, that's your office?
Well, it's actually the boardroom where we come, and we're really bored around here. We kind of come into this room, but no, this is our conference room. Sorry.
Holy smokes. Your boardroom is bigger than my house, I think. Definitely bigger than my living room.
I think it's a wide-angle camera we have here, so it's not that big.
No, that's pretty freaking gigantic. So you are the president of and the founder of a place or a business called National Marine. Can you tell everybody really quick what that is? Some people outside the big boat stuff might not know what National Marine is. Every single person in the super yacht world knows of National Marine. Just tell everybody quickly kind of what you do, what problem you solve for yacht owners and captains.
Well, we're a supply company. Started about 31 years ago. Basically started off with deck engineering, and it's led into 14 different divisions. Supplying, following the yachts around the world from A to Z. And the challenges have changed as all suppliers have seen, but without a doubt, right now is a challenge that I don't think anybody really expected, to say the least.
Yeah, for sure. I've been telling my friends and even people here today and employees, like we were all, I think, expecting some kind of downturn to happen at some point in the next, whatever, 2 or 3 or 4 or 5 quarters. But none of us expected this thing to happen. And it's been scary. And we've talked about it a little bit before. The only thing that's a little bit encouraging is that we're all in it together. There's not any industry at all that's not touched by this. There's no city. There's no country. We're all kind of been affected and slapped in the face by this thing.
No doubt. No doubt. I think the challenge is that I don't think anybody's understanding is, first of all, the crews are under a challenge within itself, being on lockdown. Yep. But crews still have to be fed. And the one thing that the environment, I think each one of us are dealing with, what we could all accomplish from the grocery store 3 weeks ago, 2 weeks ago, and what we can do now is unbelievable. We have full staff. We've had full staff. We're open at 5 a.m. in the morning. We have trucks on the road starting then, going from Savannah all the way down to Miami.
So you're the one guy though that we're talking to today that really is very much, I shouldn't say the one, there's been a few people, but you are in the guts of this thing, very much an essential part of our industry being able to operate. So I just want to give some real life examples of something that somebody might call you guys up for. And it happens every day, right? So you're provisioning pretty much everything, right? And you talk about grocery stores. There's some parts of that you guys provision, correct?
That is correct.
And there's some parts. Sorry, I just want to run down a few things. So you got like the food, the wine, the produce, coffee, and then you have the other stuff, which is like mechanical, right? Like spare parts, propellers, anything that's on a boat that's like helping operate the boat. You guys support that. And then you also have the other stuff, which is the toys and tenders. And it's just anything that lives on a boat that's not a person, you guys probably touch and provision. So if somebody is out there using their boat for any number of reasons and they need to get something on board, you guys are the people they call, right?
We hope so. Yes.
So in an environment like that, how are things changing? I know before you guys have an online ordering system. I would imagine that's been more used lately. Or are most people still just calling in and saying, hey, I need to get some food for my crew?
Well, the challenges are that they're sending in a wish list, and what we can accomplish on the wish list of who's available. We start, let's look at provisions. We get an order for 40 gallons of milk, 5 boxes of cereal, and a jar of peanut butter. Obviously, it's significantly larger than that, but there's nowhere that even with 10 shoppers on the road right now, hitting every grocery store, are you permitted to walk in and leave with 40 gallons of milk? That's just not fair. It doesn't work like that anymore. You can go to the online servicing when it comes to provisions in bulk. And the wish list, as far as grocery store items, is the things that are right now the most challenging. Bulk, when it comes to proteins, fruit and veg, the suppliers are doing an amazing job. The wholesalers are delivering every morning. We have the streets lined up at 5 o'clock in the morning. So we're still accomplishing the bulk load of provisions, but it's, as you said, it's the spices, it's the specialty items. And the biggest challenge for the crews are, we don't know, nobody knows how long this is going to go on for. We all like to be very optimistic. I think we all should stay very positive, but the limited resources where, when the crews used to have their salads and their 3-course meals and their dessert at the end of the day, that's going to change. From the wine served with lunch, all of that's going to change. We've seen some interesting challenges recently. We are also getting to the point that every morning I wake up, I kind of question myself. Everybody has a choice here at National not to come to work. That was first and foremost. We went down to lockdown about 10 days ago, and we make sure that there's no public in and out of the building. We're doing the distancing, that's for sure. But right now, to expose ourselves to this, the marinas have done a fantastic job. They now have allocated areas to where we can pull in. We used to go to the docks and have to put all of our staff delivering directly to these boats. And that is a huge risk for us. But all of that is changing, Bob, and it's changing fast. And our resources aren't running out, but they become limited. Engineering spares. Everybody wants to start projects. Manufacturers and shipyards are shutting down. Every morning's a new day. You see what's happening in Broward, Palm Beach, Miami. Every day is a new day. As fast as you come in the morning and we've got these giant wish lists from the yachts. And if we can accomplish 50% of what we're trying to do now, that's fantastic. And we're trying to get everybody understanding that this is not the norm. And the chefs are working with us. The captains are being fantastic. But it's incredible. It really is. We've never, I don't think any of us signed up for this.
Yeah, it's such an interesting thing. So in order to do the virtual boat show, one of the rules that we had was not just, hey, we're going to put up a bunch of boats and you click through photos, but it's got to be engaging. It has to be virtual, or it's just bullshit. It has to be an engaging virtual reality experience with a video walkthrough or a virtual tour. We have 2 people that went out all last week, really the week before, and a little bit this week, to film and to do virtual tours and all that kind of stuff. And our rule of thumb, because it's a little bit scary, and it's totally voluntary, and we have things to do and rules where if they show up and there's a bunch of crew and it's a weird environment and they don't feel safe and the crew aren't acting responsibly, then I told them just get out and leave if you don't feel comfortable. What are you guys doing? Because part of the challenge with this, the social distancing is one thing if you're responsible yourself, but if you interact with one person that's not, then you're now vulnerable and exposed to all of their irresponsibilities. How are your buyers and how are the people delivering to the boat doing that? Like, is it the kind of a thing that I'm thinking of where like Amazon or Uber Eats is just setting it down in the middle of in front of my porch, they're walking away, somebody picks it up and they come? Are you guys doing things like that?
Yeah, very accurate. Yes, even the delivery drivers that are delivering in the mornings, nobody's permitted social distancing. Nobody's permitted in the building. And you have to be cautious, but it's one of those things where it's just amplifying itself. The biggest, when you say cautious, the one thing that I'd like to bring up is the concern that we have is our medical division. Several weeks ago, were contacted, and this company contacted us from Europe saying we have thousands of these coronavirus test kits in stock. First of all, the test kits, come to find out after our research, are from China. They are about 80–90% defective. There's suppliers locally that are selling a test kit, no FDA approval. And what you're doing is you're setting a false pretense out there that, imagine buying a test kit. First of all, it's illegal to sell them. But if somebody buys a test kit, and if somebody has a crew member that might, say, a chef,
right,
and he takes the chef and he goes, oh, you're negative, you're fine. Why don't you fly up to the owner's house and cook them meals and everything else? Right. So these are the things that you can only protect yourself. You have to be smart. And our big concern is notifying people now is that if you're buying test kits out there and you're trusting that, please be extremely wary. of
Yeah.
something like that. You can do social distancing. Crew members, we're hearing all kinds of reports. We actually don't know what to believe these days. But for us, I mean, we have over 100 people here every day, and our certain departments are much busier than others. Obviously, being provisions, and then our shipping and logistics company. Our shipping capabilities have come to a halt. The failures as far as how much we can accomplish, the cancellation of flights is incredible. When we have to ship down to the Caribbean or any of the islands, St. Vincent, Barbados, we have to apply for phytosanitaries. These normally could take 24 to 48 hours. Now they're taking 3 to 5 days. So we just received an email from a vessel today saying that, listen, we potentially might pick up the owners next week. We're in this island and we want this entire order. Impossible.
Right.
It's impossible. And that's the understanding that we're having a very difficult time, but I think we're all understanding it real quick. It's a big experience.
And that is one of the cool things about this. Almost everybody seems to have an attitude of understanding and seems to respect that. It's kind of like, I can't do that for you right now thing that happens in an environment where they normally wouldn't accept that. They sort of have to. And it's nice because almost everybody's being human about it and is treating people with kindness as they're delivered that bad news of, hey, I'm really sorry, I can't deliver you that toilet paper today. It's just not an option. And I think a lot of it is rooted in the relationship you have with customers, where you've been serving them for 9 years successfully, and they know that you're the kind of person that's going to do whatever the hell it takes to get that across the goal line. And once in a while, when you can't, they at least know that you explored every single avenue to make it happen, right?
Yeah, without a doubt. We are doing bulk purchasing. We got 18,000 rolls of toilet paper in on Monday. So we're trying to look at bulk purchasing. Our proteins are in stock, from our chicken to our beef to our, the ground beef, all the bulk that should carry the yachts. And I think you've seen it like I've seen it, and the industry's noticing it. It is absolutely unbelievable how many boats are heading to South Florida.
Yeah.
And the task for all suppliers right now is pulling off the impossible. And pulling off the impossible is becoming an impossibility. And our jobs have become, or have always been challenging, but this takes it to a whole nother level.
Yeah, totally. Well, it's an uncertain time that is being in the thick of it, being led by guys like you. One last question, and this is a short one. I'm going to ask you about your wife. You guys work together. You're known as one of those couples in the industry that are just out there front and center in so many different ways. I love working with my wife. We don't get to work as much directly because she's her and I can't seem to stop having children. So she's right now managing that and leading that part. But what is it like? Like, how long have you guys actually worked together for? And is it as fun in real life as it looks like as I watch you guys on Mary's Facebook page?
You only live once, Bob. It's been working together, as you know, that's not easy, period. And somehow through the thick and thin, it's amazing we've been able to, you keep it together. You have to. And, but it has been, without a doubt, it has a challenge. We take this place home with us, unfortunately. And for that itself, we've tried to distance ourselves from work and our social life, but it's difficult, to say the least. But it's been fun. Sometimes it's great, but most of the time it's one of those things we just kind of plug through, and she fulfills a great position here.
By the way, until yesterday, when we were trying to get a headshot, I didn't know how much better she was digitally than you are. I mean, it's embarrassing for you. I mean, she is like on it, and I couldn't believe that you were that bad.
You're absolutely correct, 110%. I couldn't agree with you more there. But
that just shows you life does not happen without her, right?
Yeah, she's a piece of work. She's great. But Bob, listen, I want to say, thinking outside the box, you've taken this to a whole nother level. And buddy, thank you so much. Congratulations. And
thank you.
All the best to you, buddy. I look forward
to very much. Good luck. I mean, we are rooting for you and every single person over there. What you guys are doing is making the guys on boats and captains and owners and crew live and survive. It doesn't happen without what you guys are doing. Thank you, man.
Appreciate it, Bob. All the best. Take care.
All right, Drew. Hi, how are you?
Good, Bob. How are you?
Very good. You are outside. You're the second person.